note the remarkable mushroom crop on the grass and on the boles and trunks of the trees, best seen at dusk when their colours are at their most vivid and their natural luminescence is most visible. The owners of the house have asked us to mention here that these fungi are in the main not for human consumption, and that, in extreme circumstances, it can be quite the reverse. Here we come to the intersection of Old Street and Mead Street. We shall turn left down Mead Street. Turning right will take us from the Shambles to, on weekdays, North Shore Drive. On weekends, the street is closed completely. On several feast days, high holy days, and on President's Day, unsuspecting visitors who take a right turn may often find themselves in Arkegan. Number 12, Mead Street. Our next destination can, on the hour and the quarter hour, be heard from several blocks away, but this is, as seen on national television, the House of Clocks. The House of Clocks opens at 9 a.m., 7 days a week, and closes at 6 p.m. sharp. Tickets can be bought in the Gatehouse, in the Shambles shop in Old Street, or purchased with a credit card over the internet, www.preserveusfromthehouseofclocks.com. Pause before entering to look up at the clock tower, a dome surmounted by a small teapot. At 9 a.m., midday, 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., a mechanical figure will travel slowly from the door on the left to the door on the right, pausing midway to strike the bell with a small hammer or gavel it holds. According to the official guidebook, this Margot Brown at auction in 1951. This gold-encrusted mirrored timepiece is justly famed in horological circles, both for its gilded beauty and for its tendency to temporal reflectivity and transmutation. Several times the authors of this guide have set off to see it, getting up early and packing sandwiches, and have spent many happy hours walking down the 50 feet of corridor leading to l'horloge door, only frustrated in their quest by the announcement from one of the keepers of the clocks that closing time was fast approaching. The fourth floor contains surrealist timepieces, ranging from the Cartier Dali soft watches to the cheese clocks, the water clocks, salt and fresh water, and in its own refrigerated display case, the ice clock. The meat clock, a donation in 1967 from the International Brotherhood of Meat Workers, is no longer on public display, although the soft and melodious hum of the flies it attracts is omnipresent, and some claim that it may be heard howling like a wolf on the hour and the half hour. The clocks on the fifth floor, although at first glance less impressive than those you will have seen so far, attain significance upon reading the labels. These were the clocks of various famed and celebrated personages of yesteryear. Listen to the gentle tick-tock-tick of William Hewitt Gladstone's alarm clock, to the ribald tock-tock-tock of James Thurber's travel clock, the tut-tut-tutting of the imperial timepiece of Joshua Norton, and the swish-swish of the clock that Douglas Fairbanks presented to Mary Pickford on the occasion of their engagement. From the balcony on the north wing of the fifth floor, there is a fine view of Saunders Park, although to reach it one must walk through the rogues gallery of clocks, including a clock that belonged to either Burke or Hare, the mantle clock Elizabeth Borden inherited from her papa, the clocks of Albert Fish, Edward Gaiman, and of Renwick Williams, the original West End monster. All of these clocks remain, for obvious reasons, unwound and silent. Taking the back stairs down through the House of Clocks, the gift shop on the ground floor will be your final stop. Here postcards, novelties, chronistic and anachronistic, candy timepieces, and reproduction clocks and watches can be purchased. A popular decorative novelty is the Hours of Your Life chart, which describes with precision how many hours you have to live and the method and time of your death. The charts are suitable for framing, although for an additional $30 they can be purchased already framed. Pay special attention to the sundials that line the walk as you leave. Know that they will be paying special attention to you. You know, the urge to preach once you get up has to be restrained. We are here together. Why are we here together? We are here together to love. Who are we here together? So, Sorry, that was the terror of an English High Church of England education. It crowded something like this, only made for boys. And a 3-year-old Neil Gaiman at his nursery school noticed that some of the other kids were doing this weird thing at milk break. We had a sort of milk break halfway through the morning, and they'd give us these little bottles, like this, only smaller, a third of a pint of milk, which you drink with straws. And these other kids, when they finished their milk, they would take the bottle and they would bend the straw over the top, and they would start moving them around, going, "I will destroy you."
Exterminate.
I was desperate to find out what this thing was and why they were doing it. And my mother believed in healthy television. The kind that was good for you and that would not, in any way damage your growing mind. But my grandparents didn't give a toss about that. So, if I got to my grandparents on Saturday, from behind the sofa, which is where you could watch Doctor Who, because the monsters cannot hit you if you're watching from behind. I would watch Doctor Who, and this was sort of part of my growing up, part of my personal mythos. It was something that I loved. And so when they brought it back, when Russell Davies brought it back in 2005, I was incredibly wary at first. And then I was given the DVDs and watched them and went, this is really good. They're doing a great job of bringing it back. And people kept saying, there are people who do Doctor Who are big fans of yours. And I go, that's nice. And finally, Stephen Moffat and I had dinner in London in probably about 3 years ago. And we had this dinner, and I was saying things like, through the dinner, like, hypothetically speaking, should somebody ask me to write an episode? And halfway through the meal, Stephen Moffat said, look, you know I'm taking over Doctor Who. I know that you know that I'm taking over. Let's just stop pretending. And yes, I'm doing Doctor Who. I said, can I write an episode? He said, yes, all right. So that's, I phoned him up with a couple of ideas, and he liked the matter of the two. And the matter of the two is the episode that is now called The Doctor's Wife. And I'm really proud of it. And I'm not going to tell you anything more about it. It will air on May the 14th. And for the first time ever now, BBC America is going out to day and date with the BBC, because otherwise everybody was listening. We're all just torrenting it anyway. Yes.
Hello, my name is John. I sent you the twin pic of the poster a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
I read for a movie website, Fluxist, and one of my associates read a Neverwhere script at the Jim Henson Company about 5 years ago. Said it was really good. Is there any chance of that happening again?
There's a lot of chance of a Neverwhere movie getting made. There's no chance of that script, unfortunately, ever getting made, because it's very little chance, because unfortunately the Henson Company had Neverwhere under option for about 14 years, and scripts were written, and people came on board, and people left and stuff, and during that length of time, something accumulates debt. So if we ever tried to do Neverwhere with one of those scripts that I wrote, for instance, in that time, suddenly it would be a movie that would be $10 million down before it starts. So probably the odds are that those scripts would never happen. But yeah, one day, I know there's a lot of talk about it. I tend not to talk